Update. My girlfriend's girl nights outs included her friend's significant others. I feel left out. Original post. So to make a long story short, my girlfriend of nearly 3 years has always had her girl nights out every 2 to 3 weeks or so, which is perfectly fine because I also had nights where I did stuff with my friends as well. We're all in our mid to late 20s, by the way. But yesterday, while my girlfriend's friend and her boyfriend hung out at our place, the boyfriend referenced something that happened on Saturday, which was her last night out. I was confused, and after a bit of probing, found out that not only is he a regular on these nights out, but her other 2 friends bring their own boyfriends along as well. It's just me who has never been asked, nor even informed that these girl nights out weren't the just need to be with my girls for a bit, relaxing nights as she used to claim. Literally a few weeks ago, we talked about her upcoming night out with them, and she told me something like, "Sometimes I just really need to be just with the girls." Of course, I asked her once we were alone why she's never brought it up, or why I have never been invited, but she just kept claiming that the guys weren't always invited, and most of the time they just tagged along. Honestly, I feel pretty alone and disrespected right now. Plus, even now, almost 3 years later, I feel like I am barely in her friend group. I feel like if they were all meeting up anyway, I could have been there, and maybe have become friends with them as well. Unlike her, I do invite my girlfriend around to do stuff with my own set of friends a lot. Now it feels like it wasn't just the girls she wanted to see, but rather that she just really didn't want to spend that time with me, while her friends had no problem spending their time together with their boyfriends. I don't really know what to think or what to do. Now for the top advice before reading the update. She just kept claiming that the guys weren't always invited. Okay, but sometimes they were? Why wasn't I ever? And most of the time they just tagged along. Whether they were invited or just tagged along, why did you call them girls' night outs when talking to me about them? OP, your girlfriend doesn't invite you to her frequent friend and significant other get-togethers and intentionally hides from you the fact that she's excluding you by lying. Can you think of a reason why either of those behaviors should be acceptable? To anyone who wants to claim it might not be intentional, get real. OP and girlfriend have been together 3 years, 50 to 100 of these girls' night outs, and the fact that guys are in the group just now came up, and not by OP's girlfriend telling him, but rather one of those guys letting it slip. It's certainly acceptable, even healthy, to have independent social time away from each other, but not like this. Not by isolating and lying. It sounds to me like her friends don't like him, so she leaves him behind. I think you are entitled to feel bad. She has been masking going out with her friends under girls' night. There is nothing wrong with her wanting to go out without you, but the lying part makes it weird and borderline disrespectful. I don't think this is an isolated incident, and you feel hurt because there have been other issues, right? I don't really know. I mean, everyone has their preferences and their own character. She's always been a bit more cold in the way she acts than my previous partners, but I never thought that she'd feel like she needed this much of a break from me and the relationship as a whole. As I said in my post, I wouldn't have had an issue at all if this was just a girls' night out, and if she did really need to have a bit of a break. But she was literally meeting up with her group of friends and their boyfriends. I genuinely can't imagine going out with my extended friend group twice in a row without even asking my girlfriend to be there with me. More often than not, she comes with me, so I just don't really understand why she'd want to separate me from her side of friends like that. I just don't know how to feel right now. Straight up just confront her with the "why did I have to find this out? Why wasn't I informed? Why did I have to probe about the girls' nights out?" It could be nothing. Probably is. But she needs to understand that's not fair to you. Make it clear that it's not a fight and you just want to clear the air. She's gonna get offended though. People are so used to people being fake that speaking directly is seen as aggressive. I wish you luck, fam, and stay strong, my brother. And remember that you're the victim. Don't play the victim card, but keep in mind that you did nothing wrong and you're just wanting to know what you don't know. And this is where it could get hairy. What's most important is why it took so long for you to know these things. Oh hell nah, dude. I'm the jealous type, and I would have made a scene. That's probably why I'm single. So, take it with a grain of salt. Maybe I should have properly confronted her. It was already late, so all we did was me asking it and her hand waving me away more or less. I will talk to her again. This is really bothering me if I'm being honest. I love her so much and I always try to include her and basically just spent more time with her. Finding out that she has been keeping me away from these nights out for whatever reason has really hurt me. All I can think of is this: if she really needs such a break from me and the relationship, while her friends clearly don't, then is it even a relationship she's happy in? Now for the update days later. Hey, so first of all, thank you all for your comments. I couldn't reply to them all due to the thread being locked. I read through them all, and I did what I probably should have done directly when it first happened. I went and talked to her. To make a long story short, there were never any girls' nights out. These were always simple nights out with her friend group. So why wasn't I invited? Because they all hate my guts due to her own fault, according to her. My girlfriend said back when we started dating, she'd always vent to them about me. All these small issues we fixed between her nights out and literally never talked about again was all her friends group knew about me. Issue after issue, but never how we fixed it together as well. She realized that as well and stopped venting about me, but at that point it was, according to her, too late. They'd always joke about me behind my back. The feeling I had of being ostracized on the rare occasions where one of her friends would hang out at our place wasn't just a feeling after all. They do really hate me. I simply wanted to know why she was okay with that and why she wouldn't stand up for our relationship. She said she wasn't okay with that, but what could she do? Her friends would have crap-talked her if she said anything. Not only that, but her friends have me as the butt of all their jokes. In their minds, I'm an incompetent, impotent buffoon. All these freaking side eyes I got when I would talk to any of them wasn't just in my imagination. I'd talk to my girlfriend back then, and she'd always say, "It's just in your head." To be honest, it made me mad that she was trying to be the victim in this situation, and I don't know why. But finding out that they despise me and my supposed-to-be girlfriend is tolerating it and wouldn't defend me made me really, really upset. If I'm being honest at this point, I kind of mentally checked out, and I already knew that I won't allow this disrespect and that this relationship is already through. Yet there is so much I just don't understand. So I asked her simply, why? Why would you be okay with any of that? And why wouldn't you either stop being friends or literally demanding them to stop talking like that about us and about me? All she said was something like, "You know how I am. I don't really like being the center of attention." I just kept quiet. Finally, I just asked her if anything would change going forward, and she said she could try talking to them individually. But she said it in such a timid way that I don't think for a second she actually meant it. Anyway, long story short, I broke up with her. It sucks, and I feel really badly about myself right now. I've always tried to be the best version of myself in this relationship, but knowing that there is a whole group of people out there who literally hate me, and the one person who is supposed to love and defend me no matter what yet didn't, kinda sucks. So I gotta ask, what was her reaction to being broken up with? She cried and begged me not to. But as I said above, I asked her if anything at all would change. But even then, she wouldn't budge. I was 99% sure I was going to end that talk broken up with her. But after seeing her in action in the actual talk, just solidified it so much more. She left for her best friend's apartment and hasn't messaged me yet. But to be honest, there isn't really anything she could say to change my mind by now. I loved and still do love her a lot, but I'm still trying to process her friends more or less bullying me indirectly, and her literally just being okay with it. This isn't the kind of person I thought she'd be, nor the kind of person I want in my life. I had a similar situation a few years ago. My wife mentioned that one of our floor-standing fans wasn't really working very well anymore, and that we might need a new one. A couple of days later, I had some time to pull it apart to have a look. Turns out, there was a decent layer of dust on the blades that wasn't very visible with all the covers on. Cleaned it up and it was like new. Told my wife just in passing when she got back home, and she said something to the tune of, "Oh cool, that's great." That night I jumped on the computer and fired up Chrome. My wife was the last to use it, so her session popped up, with Facebook Messenger as the open page. Before I realized it wasn't my account, I read a message. I didn't mean to, but it just popped up. It was a group of my wife's friends, just 2 or 3 of her close friends. What does this want? A medal for fixing the fan? I remember it like it was yesterday. I just let out a disappointed oh. Now I can and do swear like a sailor. I'm Australian, so it's a basic requirement. But I've never said anything like that about her or to her, and I wouldn't have thought she would either. I feel like I can't bring it up because it was so long ago, and she'll grill me about why I was reading her messages. I try not to concern myself with what people think about me, but it's hard when you're wondering what's been said about you by someone close. Hope it all works out for you, man. Man, I'm sorry. I really hope I'll never turn into the kind of person who would talk about their significant other like that. One of the reasons I divorced my ex is because I happened to hear him crap talking about me to his friends. That shocked me so much I started paying more attention to the relationship and discovered just how abusive it was. You don't have to stay married to someone who dislikes you enough to crap talk about you behind your back. That person doesn't actually love you. You deserve to be married to someone who loves and respects you and appreciates you, and that's not your wife. Last story. My best friend is dying. My fiancé has waited to pick a fight that may end our relationship right before I see her for the last time. I, 50 female, can't make sense of this, and I don't know what to do or think. I am beginning to believe that my fiancé, 52 male, is a covert narcissist or has some severe narcissistic traits. My thoughts are all over the place. Please bear with me. This past week, he has been very moody and difficult. I asked him multiple times if he was okay, and was told he was fine. I am about to make a very difficult trip to visit my best friend who is dying of cancer. This will be the last time I see her. It has been heartbreaking, and he knows that this trip will be incredibly hard. I leave in 2 days. This weekend, right before I go, my daughter and I went away overnight. It was meant to be later, but because I have to make the emergency trip overseas to be with my best friend, it had to be rescheduled. I mention this only to give background over timing. The night before I left with my daughter, he picked a fight over some very trivial things. He was insistent that the storage locker in our building should suddenly be reorganized, and he was furious that it didn't seem to matter. He ignored me the rest of the evening and came to bed late. I didn't say anything to him. I admit I was hurt and upset and just wanted to sleep. Friday morning, he sent me a very long text with a list of grievances, very petty things. The storage locker, how angry he was that we left our shoes by the door, that I never vacuum, on and on. The last text he sent said basically, all of these things made him feel like he was going to stop loving me. All day at work, I could barely focus. I really couldn't believe it. I replied that none of this made sense, and that I thought it was coming from him feeling overwhelmed that I was leaving to be with my friend, and that if he felt that way, a better way to feel connected and supported would be to ask for help and a hug, instead of all of this. And that no, reorganizing a storage locker is not an immediate concern when I need to pack and prepare for my flight to be with my best friend for our very last time together. He ignored me all day today while my stomach was in knots. I feel like he deliberately chose to ruin the weekend away with my daughter by doing this, causing such upset over something that could wait. The storage locker has literally sat untouched a full year since we moved in. I tried to call him and he was still angry. He said he'd give me 5 minutes to speak. I tried to stand up for myself when he started in on me and my daughter. He hung up on me. An hour later, he sent me another text. The first line was in all caps saying for me to read this carefully. I knew it was going to be another long, likely mean text. I left it unread all day. I don't want to read it. I can't take any more stress or sadness. My daughter doesn't deserve to have her happy time ruined like this, and neither do I. I now have to face him when I return home tomorrow, and I know it's going to be more fighting. I feel sad, and so alone. I'm in for a very hard week trying to keep it together for my friend, making some last memories together at home or hospital. I also know while this is happening, I will now have no support. He knows how much she means to me, how hard it will be, and I don't understand any of this. Why he's being this way? Feel like something awful has been revealed. I don't recognize the man who is meant to love me. How do I get through this alone? How do I handle the fight I am expecting tomorrow? Now for the comments. Please choose yourself and end this relationship. He's picking a fight because he's mad that your attention is not 100% on him, is why. I spent over a decade married to a man like this. His behavior will only grow worse, I promise you. Recommend reading Why Does He Do That by Lundy Bancroft, available as a free PDF download. It's the definitive work on abusive men. Changed my life. Absolutely this. I was married for 10 years, and the last straw was when my ex started complaining about my lack of housekeeping while my close friend was dying. If this person's primary thoughts during this time is to make it about himself, he doesn't deserve a relationship. Get out now. Gray rock him if he tries to pick a fight. You don't have to fight. You can respond neutrally and get away from him. So sorry about your friend. This man is not an emotionally safe person to be around, either for you or your child. Take all your most important documents with you, and if you can, I would say that you should also take anything valuable that you don't want destroyed, broken, or thrown away. That's super special to you, and put it somewhere safe where he can't get to it. Open up a new bank account for yourself and move the money you need over to it. I wouldn't put it past him to drain the account while you're traveling, so that you'll be stranded. This dude is going to work very hard to make the following days as terrible for you as he can. You need an exit strategy. Thank you for your reply. We do not share finances, so I am not concerned about that. I feel very certain that my belongings are also safe. He wouldn't do anything deliberately destructive. He would see that as trashy behavior, and his ego wouldn't allow for it, if that makes sense. The thing that is devastating to me is the seemingly cruelty of this behavior, the deliberate timing of it. I know I'm not perfect. Nobody is. I can get angry too. I can fight back. But I honestly try to do it in a fair way, with self-reflection, and I try really hard to let things go and to work things out as quickly as possible instead of festering and building resentment. I feel like he doesn't fight the same way. When I explain my side, he instantly goes to, I'm such a terrible person and partner. Everything is always my fault again, right? And it's with a smirk or attitude. It short-circuits the conversation, or we go in circles. He is not always a bad man. I know I have posted a couple of times about other fights, and there have actually been some huge improvements that I didn't update. People don't usually post the happy good things. They post when they are upset or need help. He has taken charge of his health, and our intimacy has now changed completely. It's connected and a totally different life. He got medical help for low testosterone, which has helped his energy levels, focus, mood, and sex life. I was proud of him for doing that. I know it was tough. He admitted he was wrong about other things. We had good quality discussions and bridged and solved some problems about the kids, house rules, etc. These things made me see that he isn't a one-dimensional person. He's trying. This is why it's confusing. He's not all bad, and by that logic, I can't be either. I have read Lundy's book. Maybe it is time to reread it again. I am not sure those qualifies as abuse. It was a mean thing, chosen with terrible timing. He said he brought it all up so it could be addressed with my daughter privately this weekend with him not there. I can see how in his brain he thinks that. It doesn't excuse choosing this exact time to fight about everything else, though. I am deeply conflicted.